In today's technology-based society, we enjoy easy access to a number of sources of digital communication and information. Professions such as nursing often employ social media as an increasingly effective, wide-ranging tool. However, along with this resource comes great responsibility. As nurses navigate social networking sites, chat rooms, blogs, and public forums, they, sometimes unknowingly, approach a dangerously thin line between professional and personal online etiquette and even run the risk of breaking federal and/or state laws. Let's take a minute to watch this video that talks about some advantages of using social media networking in nursing.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm currently in my third year of nursing school and I have an interest in health technology and nursing. Over the last year or so, something I've realized is that everyone has a unique perspective on the use and value of health technology, especially social media platforms. I think most of us enter nursing school never really thinking about how social media can and will impact our future careers. It really hit me in second year that all of my professors, future colleagues, and patients will have access to everything I've ever posted publicly since probably grade school. This really started to get me thinking about how we, as a technology literate generation of nursing students, can benefit and leverage our knowledge of social media and healthcare while balancing our personal and professional presence online throughout our careers. What I think most of us already value about social media is how it connects you to your friends in a constant stream of real-time information. However, what you may not have already discovered is the vast professional presence of millions of nurses who have already started paving the way online and using social media platforms such as Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook to further their careers and create a dynamic online nursing community. When I stumbled upon the online nursing community, I was totally blown away by how it was personable, engaging, and allowed me, as a novice nurse, to connect to experts in their respective fields through message boards and tweets. Let's take a moment to talk about the value and power social media has for us as nursing students and young professionals. Professionally blogging, tweeting, and posting about parts of nursing school you love with a positive and thoughtful approach is a creative way to become a subject matter expert on the various topics you choose to write about. By having social media accounts, you become visible and in the right light allows you to market yourself to future employers and colleagues. A professional social media presence, I think, shows your dedication to the nursing field and helps you stay on top of trends in healthcare while promoting your future values within the workplace. Social media is also a place where our patients consume health information using technology to support their health, like referrals, electronic records, and portals. As new roles for healthcare workers evolve to provide digital consumer health solutions, new rules of engagement and digital voices are given to the clients. That being said, with all great power of freedom of expression on social media comes great professional responsibility. I hope I was able to stress, as nursing students, how important it is to reflect on your social media use in the past and to determine how you are going to use it in the future, especially when it comes to establishing an online professional nursing presence. So go out and explore. Find your topics and causes you are passionate about and advantageously engage with the larger nursing and healthcare community. Your social media accounts are the modern day first impression. So what kind of posts would you like patients, colleagues, and employers to find?
I don't know if you realize why we asked you to come in today, but it was brought to our attention that you posted a picture on your Facebook and Instagram of one of your patients recently, and we did a little bit of an investigation, and so we've called you in today to go over kind of the results of what we found and what we're going to do going forward, okay? What you posted was a picture of your patient, Mr. Wilkins, from 245B. You posted his name and room number, but you said, you know, how sweet his family was and how sweet of a patient he was. So I understand that it was good intentions and it was meant from a good place, but back here in orientation, which you have signed, one of the policies that we went through just recently was our social networking policy, which states pretty clearly employees are also prohibited from posting photographs or videos of patients. So unfortunately, this is just a clear, direct policy violation, and we're going to have to do just a written write-up. It's going to go in your file for about a year or so, but this is not necessarily going to lead to further action at this point.
I do understand that, you know, this does result in a write-up. I had really good intentions, you know, with posting the picture on Instagram and Facebook. I kind of wanted just everybody to see, you know, this loving family that I got to take care of, and watch Mr. Willis, you know, recover back. You know, I know it was a violation and y'all have to do what y'all have to do. I just really was coming from a good spot and good intentions, posting it. They were so sweet and they gave me, you know, permission, but I do see where you're coming from on, you know, that's more permission with photos is for y'all's posting and not just, you know, nurses and just anybody posting pictures with patients.
That is correct. Our marketing team does get publicity consents for all of our patients that agree to be part of our advertising and that sort of thing. So we do occasionally, you know, take pictures of our patients, but it's really for marketing specific programs within the hospital or as part of like an advertising campaign for maybe our stroke team or something like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and have you sign this down at the bottom. All it is just a written, and again, I'm just going to scan it into your file, and hopefully we won't have to do this again.
So this just goes in my file, and if there was, you know, another violation, is it kind of separate, or is it if it was the same instance, you know, that I would go and get a second strike or another write-up?
If we're to have another misuse of social media, especially while on the clock, then this would progress to probably a probationary status, but it's something that we will have to take as it comes. It's not just a formula, one leads to the next. Of course, violating other policies could lead to a different kind of probationary status as well. So just try your best, stay off social media with patient information, and let's go from there, okay?
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry about this instance, and it will not happen again, I can assure you.
So, as we can see, Harley violated the patient's confidentiality. This occurred as soon as she shared information, even the slightest detail, no matter how insignificant, online with someone who is not authorized to receive such information.
Okay, Ms. Kilgore, unfortunately, we've had another incident, and this time it's a little bit more serious. It was brought to our attention from some of your coworkers that you posted on Facebook, and let me quote here, "Please pray for my patients at my job. They're all too sick for us to be this short-staffed. Our bosses really need to learn their lesson." This is an inappropriate statement about your workplace. And down here in this policy, again, that we've gone through in orientation, it says that if you do publish a blog or post online related to the work that you do or the subjects associated with the company, make it clear that you are not speaking on behalf of the company. It is best to include a disclaimer. And I know this sounds hokey, but you should say something like, the postings on this site are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the company. So this, talking about being short-staffed, it really puts all of us in a negative light within the community and has the potential to negatively impact our standing, our financial health. All of these things are tied together. And because you had that previous instance where you posted on social, you posted the picture of the patient, we're now going to have to move on to a 90-day probationary status where you're going to be on probation for the next 3 months. And any little hiccup could lead to termination of employment. I'm so sorry we've gotten to this point, but we're starting to see a pattern here, and we need to break this cycle while we still can.
Well, I do understand, but we are so short-staffed, and I really don't think that y'all understand, like, we're putting, like, our patients in harm's way because we're so busy trying to get, all these things that we have to get done before our shift ends and documentation, and we don't have any extra help. So, yes, I probably shouldn't have, gotten mad and taken it out on Facebook, but I was pissed off. And, having 12 to 15 patients and, y'all really not care about the safety of us, our license, and also our patients, like, it just kind of shows, that y'all really don't care. Y'all are trying to make money, and it's really just pissed me off. So I probably shouldn't have posted that on Facebook. I don't regret it. You do like what you need to do with the probation period. But that's where I'm coming from.
I'm really sorry that you feel that way about our current staffing situation, but posting it on Facebook is really not an appropriate use of that platform. There are other ways to get your voices heard. We have different committees that I see you probably haven't signed up for any yet. We have the safety committee, we have the staffing committee, the staff relations committee. All of these things are the proper places to voice your opinions on what our current situation is. Of course, if you feel that endangered about your license, you could always file on the Safe Harbors Act. And we have a corporate compliance hotline. You can call our home office and complain to a corporate compliance officer about your workplace situation. But again, posting this kind of stuff on Facebook just harms all of us here at this company.
Yeah, I should not have posted it on Facebook, and I did let my anger kind of get control and was just typing after a long shift. It was hard. I was tired, ready to go home. You say about these committees, but what are these committees? Why haven't I really heard about them? Where do I sign up? Can anybody do it? How does this work? Because I do know y'all are always talking about committees, but nobody's ever given us an explanation about it and how to actually be involved and let our voice be heard.
So I send out regularly, every week I send out committee invites, the calendars for who's going to be meeting when and where. So you really should be checking your company email. That's how we as an administration communicate to our employees, is through the official email that, again, you can access on any computer. But we can talk about this, but it's not going to change the outcome of what is happening today, which is you're going to be placed on a 90-day probationary status. And so I'm going to need you to sign here under where I have signed, and we're just going to have to move forward, okay? I'm so sorry that we're here, but again, this is the outcome and this is where it is.
Alright, well, you'll have to understand that I'm not going to sign this. Clearly, we're not on the same page. I don't see where you're coming from. I know I did, violate the rules and the policy that I had signed. I guess I really didn't read it through orientation like I should have. You know how that can kind of be. I'm not going to sign it though, so you'll just have to deal with it as you please.
It's fine that you haven't signed it. It's, again, not going to change the outcome. You are on probation, and I'll just have your manager sign this under the line where you would be signing. Again, this is going to go in your file, and you are on probation for the next 3 months.
Because of the nature of their work, nurses who make negative posts on social media about their place of employment run the risk of disciplinary actions. These type of online negative comments reflect poorly on the hospital in which the nurse is affiliated, as well as can jeopardize her or his job security.
Well, so unfortunately, Harley, we're kind of back where we have developed a pattern here of misusing social media while at work. And unfortunately, we've had another instance, another complaint's been lodged against some things that you've said on Facebook.
Wait a minute. Why are you always looking at my social media? Like, am I just, the one where you're wanting to just look at all of my pages? Are you monitoring everybody's? Do you have the authority to be looking and stalking my stuff like this?
We keep going back to the same policy, and I'm sorry we keep using the same policy, but it's an infraction over and over and over again of the same policy. And back here on page 3, it has a whole section called Right to Monitor. The company reserves the right to monitor all public blogs and public social networking forums for the purpose of protecting its interests and monitoring compliance with company policies. If postings and/or other social media activity is found to be maliciously false in violation of federal, state, or local laws, or in violation of company policy, the company may require cessation and removal of such commentary or postings. We haven't asked you to take anything down yet, we're not going to be doing that again today, but it does say the company reserves the right to access any company computers and company electronic communication devices to monitor public blogs and online websites. Employees should not maintain any expectation of privacy with respect to information transmitted over, received by, or posted on such public sites. This stuff is out there for anyone to see. If I see it, if your neighbor sees it, it's out there, okay? So specifically, this time, you put on Facebook that Karen called in this morning, but I know she's just going to the boats in Shreveport. Girl, come on. You're calling a coworker out, and that's bullying on social media. So we're violating social media policy and the bullying policy. Then, from what I understand, you and some other staff members heard that she was actually a patient in our ER downstairs. And then, of course, everything's recorded. I can go and look and see who has accessed patient records. You and two other nurses on the floor accessed her actual medical record while she was down in the emergency room. So not only does this violate HIPAA, which is kind of like a separate policy that we're not even really touching on now, it violates your medical privacy, but you're on probation for misusing social media. You're only halfway through this 90-day probationary status. And so, unfortunately, this is just going to be your last day of employment with us here. We're going to have to terminate your employment. I'm going to need your badge. You're going to have to go clean out your locker. And Sarah, your manager, has agreed to take your patients, so you'll give her a report. And then we're going to have security escort you off campus. I'm sorry it came to this, but this is a clear pattern of misusing social media.
The reason why I posted that on Facebook is because she was on Snapchat. You know, obviously she called in sick. We all knew that. But she's posting on Snapchat headed to the votes looking for some fame. So are you not stalking her page? I mean, is there, consequences to, calling in and just getting to do whatever, even though she's not sick for the reason that she called in? And, I did tag some of my coworkers who had also, commented on the page where it was supposedly bullying. What's happening to them? What's happening to them for accessing records? We were just wanting to know, was she actually in the ER, hurt or sick, or was she at the boats, or, we wanted to know.
I can't go into the disciplinary actions of other employees. Just know that the situation is being handled. And as far as someone calling in, it counts as an occurrence. The reasoning behind the call-in kind of doesn't matter. You know this, it's part of the absentee policy that we went through in orientation. You get a certain number of occurrences over a 12-month period, and this counts against one of her occurrences. Whether she's actually sick or not, that's almost none of our business. She called in, it's an occurrence. And as far as the people that were tagged in your post, I will be speaking to everyone involved today, and the outcome of the situation is all going to be handled today.
I'll be turning in my badge and, whatever else. Security's not needed. I can walk out on my own gladly. Since you like to, look at all of my social media and stalk my page, you can just expect like a jeer from me, the company, you, and I will call your name out. So.
Harley was lucky to only lose her job over this incident. Not only can a medical facility take action against a nurse who has violated a patient's privacy, but the State Board of Nursing can undertake measures as well. Additionally, it's not uncommon for legal and criminal investigations to take place when a nurse crosses the line. Here's an example of an improper use of social media. Jamie, a nurse, has been working in hospice care for the last 6 years, and one of her patients, Mariah, maintained a hospital-sponsored communication page to keep friends and family updated on her battle with cancer. One day, Mariah posted about her depression. As her nurse, Jamie wanted to provide support, so she posted, "I know the last week has been difficult. Hopefully the new Happy Pill will help, along with the increased dose of morphine. I will see you on Wednesday." The site automatically listed the user's name with each comment. The next day, Jamie was shopping at the local grocery store when a friend stopped her to ask about Mariah's condition. "I saw your post yesterday. "I didn't know you were taking care of Mariah," the friend said. "I hope the new medication helps with her pain." This is an example of a violation of confidentiality through social media. While Jamie had Mariah's best intentions at heart by trying to offer her words of support, she inadvertently disclosed information about a patient on a social media site. Everyone who read that post now knows about Mariah's medication and increase in morphine, violating her rights to privacy and confidentiality. Instances of inappropriate use of electronic media by nurses such as this have been reported to the boards of nursing, and in some cases, even to the media. Here are some guidelines for responsible use of social media. Have a clear understanding of local, state, and national laws concerning privacy. Have a working knowledge of professional society guidelines. Know your institutional culture. Be prepared to make changes to stay current with the rapid developments in technology. Circulate policies, including updates, in writing to all who are required to abide by them. Differentiate between guidelines for education and guidelines for practice, if appropriate. Educate all staff, management, and students about the policies.
Emily was a nursing student in a pediatrics rotation. She cared for Tommy, a 5-year-old patient who was recently diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Tommy was going home soon, so she took a cell phone picture of him to remember him by. That evening, she posted his picture on her Facebook page, commenting how brave he was when he got his insulin injections. 2 days later, Emily was called into her dean's office. A nurse from the hospital had seen the photo and caption and reported them to hospital officials. Emily was informed that her actions were a breach of her patient's confidentiality and a violation of federal privacy laws. Even though Emily had an excellent record as a student nurse and had only the best intentions in her post, she was expelled from her nursing program, and the program was barred from using the pediatrics unit for their students.
Hi, I'm Kelly, a staff nurse here at the hospital. If you use social media properly, what happened to Emily will never happen to you. Nurses are increasingly utilizing social media not only for personal use, but also as a way to foster professional connections and timely communications with patients and their families. But social media used inappropriately can result in disclosing too much patient information and violating the rights to privacy and confidentiality of information. This is what happened to Emily. Healthcare organizations typically have clear policies governing employee use of electronic and social media in the workplace. It is outside the workplace, however, where policies are often less clear and the potential for inappropriate use of social media is greatly increased. Effective nurse-patient relationships are built on trust. A cornerstone of that trust is patient privacy, which is a key part of a patient's expectation of being treated with dignity and respect. Any patient information that a nurse has access to during the course of treatment must be safeguarded. With very limited exceptions, such information may only be disclosed to other members of the healthcare team for the purpose of providing care for the patient. Improper use of social media by nurses may violate state and federal laws, including the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, which was enacted to further protect patient privacy. Additionally, inappropriate uses of electronic and social media may be reported to your Board of Nursing, resulting in possible disciplinary action for unprofessional or unethical conduct, breach of confidentiality, or other infractions. While it's true that some intentional or malicious misuses of social media do occur, the majority of inappropriate disclosures or postings are unintentional. Usually, they're the result of the mistaken belief that the communication or posting is private and accessible only by the intended recipient, that content deleted from the site is no longer accessible, or that it is acceptable to discuss or refer to a patient in a posting if they're not identified by name. By being cautious and alert to potential or improper uses of social media, you can avoid inadvertently disclosing confidential information concerning your patients. Remember, you have an ethical and legal obligation to maintain patient privacy at all times. This means that you should never take photos or videos of patients using your cell phones or other personal devices. Be sure to follow employer policies for taking photos or videos of patients for treatments or other permissible purposes by using employer-provided devices. Even experienced nurses should be vigilant about avoiding serious violations of patient confidentiality, as Jason learned.
Jason has been a nurse for 12 years and is working in hospice care. One of his current patients, Maria, maintains a hospital-sponsored online page to keep her family and friends updated on her battle with cancer. One day, she posted something about her depression and the difficulty of finding effective treatments for her physical pain. Jason saw the post and responded by writing a comment to Maria. He wrote that he understood her last few days had been difficult, and he was hopeful that the new medication, along with the increased dose of morphine, would provide some needed relief. The next day, Jason ran into a friend who said she saw his post. She said Maria was an old family friend, was sad to hear of her condition, and asked Jason how long he thought Maria had left. Now fully realizing the implications of what he had done, he immediately went home and tried to remove his post, but was unable to do so. Besides, even if he had been successful in removing it, it may have already been copied by others and posted elsewhere. At his next visit with Maria, Jason told her what had happened and apologized. Jason then self-reported his breach of patient confidentiality to his board of nursing and is awaiting the board's decision concerning any disciplinary action.
Jason learned the importance of carefully considering the full implications of posting any information about patients on any website, including hospital-sponsored sites. It may at times be appropriate for nurses to express empathy and support for patients on a website, but they must be careful not to disclose private patient information. Inappropriate use of social media can derail someone's dream to be a nurse, as it did for Emily. But even for experienced nurses like Jason, who have exceptional work histories, inappropriate use of social media can and does happen. Remember, increased access to communication through social media does not change a healthcare professional's responsibility to protect patient information. In fact, it actually makes it easier to inappropriately share information. By carefully following standardized guidelines, healthcare professionals can responsibly use social media to improve the coordination of patient care. For more information, please visit the website of the National Council of State Boards of Nursing.
In conclusion, social media policies for nurses continue to evolve to align with advancements in technology and the internet. The key to successfully navigating the ups and downs that come with having an online presence is to find a happy, safe, and responsible middle ground between the personal and professional benefits of social media without breaking the laws governing patient privacy and confidentiality. Nurses must remain vigilant to avoid inadvertently disclosing patient and workplace-related information via social media, as well as to keep up with current workplace policies and relevant state and federal laws.